Raining, 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 and we're dry. Right, so as I've just said to my wife, this is the most exciting part of the build. You're just about to start, you've got all your materials ready, which I'll show you in a second, and I really cannot wait. Here is the rock placement I've come up with. Now this is slightly different from what I had originally planned. Let me just lift you up a bit. Okay. Right, reason being, what I was going to do is over this section across here have one smaller island and then one large island over the other side. But as you guys know, with a no filter tank, plants are key. And that was severely reducing the amount of plants I could put in. So I've added this area here joining so that I can put soil all across the back so we can have a natural dip in the middle. I'll still keep it so that it's like two islands in terms of how I plant it, but it still will allow more plants overall. Then obviously a nice open area at the front with decorative sand. Yeah, I'll put in the wood now and we can see how that looks. So here's what I've gone for wood wise. So a big long sort of branching piece on the top, which at the moment is a little bit square on, but I'll change that once there's some substrate in and I can angle it a bit better. You don't want, you know, flat lines really. It doesn't tend to happen in nature. Rock wise, you can see that I've gone, you know, up, down. You don't want to just build a flat wall again, doesn't look realistic. You want undulations, drops, rise and falls. I'll even have some smaller ones in the foreground as well, especially under this stick here, which will look really good. And as the main viewing angle is from here, because I'm, well, straight on as well, but quite often I'll just be looking from here and I'll be filming from here as well. You can sort of see that there's an open sort of pathway going towards the back left of the tank there, which will, you know, view right into the stem plants at the back. Be putting a lot of moss back onto this wood in a minute, so that's going to be difficult to do, to be honest. Not getting the moss on, but always trying to find what you did the first time. Sometimes you can actually make it better when you put it back in without even realizing, sometimes not so much, but that's why now I'll take some photos, for instance, so I can use them as a reference. Okay, so our next job is the moss, which you can see is on this little metal thing. Open it up and you can pull them out. And here's the wood, and you'll also need some cotton. I've just got some normal green cotton, and what we need to do is very simple. You just take a piece of your moss like this, lay it down and start wrapping. It can be a little bit tricky to get it going, and it is difficult sometimes to get in the hard reach places, but it is ultimately better to do it this way than to glue it. You can keep it nice and tight. See how tight that's going on the wood. Make sure you twist it around to where you actually want it, but it will propagate itself and travel across the wood. And as well, if you trim it nice and tightly all the time. It goes really compact, even with no CO2. I've done it before in previous setups. It goes really, really well. Right, so a little bit of moss on. Don't worry about the little browned edges, that's just the base parts. That within no time at all will all be full green and really nice sort of coverage. I've not put it back exactly how I had it before, but I think it looks better. Like I was saying, sometimes you can do things that will look better, and if you follow this line now, joins with this side and it just flows nicely this way, along with that one as well. Then you've got this angle as well, and then you've got your contrasts, which I think works really well. I don't know, I mean, it's all going to be subjective as to what you like, but I really like that, and it's my scape, so that's how it's staying. So the next job is to plug all the holes that you can see, like this one, small little areas down there, this side. For that we can use one of two things or both. You can crush up some more lava rock, that's not a thing, lava rock, and you know, press it in, close the gaps. It can be a bit fiddly. I'll do a little bit of that, and then behind it you go with filter floss and just plug the gaps in, go around, just check it all, make sure it's all closed in, because the last thing you want is a nice thin layer of decorative sand at the front here, for which we are using the ADA, the plata sand. Yeah, last thing you want is all your aquasol just constantly keep coming forwards, and every single, you know, day or so you've got to keep vacuuming, because that can be a real pain. It can take away the pleasure of everything. So yeah, let's get on with plugging it. Okay, next job is filter floss, and if like me you don't have any filter floss, you can take a pillow, rip it up, instant filter floss. Okay, so that's all the gaps covered up as best as I can see anyway, and the next job is to put in the ADA La Plata sand at the foreground. Obviously this area. I'll pile it in a little bit thickly to start with, just so you can flick it back underneath the crevices in the rock. This will be blocking any sort of small tiny gaps I've missed then, and not allowing any substrate behind to come forwards. And don't forget to mist everything whilst you're doing all of this. Well, I haven't done a slow-mo in a while, so here we go. Now for our aqua soil, we've got this big bag here from Prodibio, guess that's how I pronounce it. Looks like it's designed in France and made in Japan, so you know it's going to be good. So there's two ways of planting. You can either plant straight in now dry, which a lot of people do, and I do that as well for sort of short carpeting plants like you know, dwarf hairgrass and Monte Carlo. I'll plant it in dry now, but I don't like doing that for stem plants, and the majority of this layout is all stems, so I'm going to fill it with water. Oh yeah, just quickly, something else I forgot to mention. This is all going to try and float. So I want to hold it down with one big rock or something over here. It won't stay there, and it will look a bit silly to start with, but it's necessary for at least a few days, possibly a week depending on the type of wood, but this stuff's not very dense, so I think it will try and float, so I'll just get that locked down. So the next job is to prepare all these beautiful plants that have been donated to us by Aquarium Gardens. It's really simple to do. There we go, look, there's Trident, really nice fern. It'll grow nice and bushy and big eventually. But you just remove the label, give it a little squeeze, then you can just pull it out of that plastic cuppy thing, and then just the rock wool comes off. Pry it off with your fingers. Should come away quite easily. Sometimes it doesn't if a plant's more mature than another one, but that's alright. Nice and easy. And you can even use your tweezers as well to scrape out any excess bits. So what I've done is I've actually attached the Trident fern to this rock using the same method. Let me get that right over here. There you go. Same method that I use for the moss. And Pina fetida Hygrophila, I can never say it. Pina, there we go. That'll do. Hygrophila, easy. Don't know why these names have to be so complicated. Anyway, really nice textures you get on these on this plant, and it goes really well with the Trident as well. And they sort of merge together and create just big textured bushes, if you like. Now that always, in my opinion, should go just in front of your wood, so it fills in sort of gaps, if you like. So I'm going to put it right in that little spot there. Like so. We've got our plants. There'll be a full list of the plants in the description, but actually cut to a montage and I'll just list them. All the plants from Aquarium Gardens in. I now need to take, I'll get that off, need to take some trimmings from this tank here. That's all the planting done for now, and I've had to in fact raise the light and go for one single one because, you know, I've got quite a bit of experience with these no filter tanks now, and with it settling in as it is, and all the plants that are in there at the moment, they're not quite established. Once they will be with more floating plants, I can bring the light down, but for the time being it's staying raised. And yeah, the next job is to add the floating plant, so add the duckweed. Lots of you aren't fans of duckweed, but I absolutely love it. I just think it looks great. So it's going in. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed building this tank and editing it. The whole process has been really fun. So first of all, big thank you to All Pond Solutions and Aquarium Gardens for providing me with all the equipment, hardscape, lighting, everything that made this possible. It's a new scape, so it's only a week old, as I've just said in the video, but it's going to come in really nicely. I can already tell it's going to be brilliant. Give it 1 month, all the background plants will start filling in and whatnot, but I'll be doing regular updates as we go. And this is just the start of everything I've got planned, guys. So if you haven't subscribed already, you really want to click it right now. Do it right now. You haven't done it right now. I'll see you next time.